Mel,
Brandon,
good to see you.
damn good to see you.
It's like episode 27 or something.
Wow,
We're getting there.
we are getting there. It's like 27 and me. You go back and check your lineage.
I guess. 23 and me.
Who cares?
23 and me.
Oh, you're going to shark change?
So, we want to talk city stuff tonight, of course. We got next Monday, basically a week from now, they're going to have the reorg meeting where Jim Seibert falls off, Scotty Rogers comes on, and...
Why was there no commission meeting today?
Well, I did think there was one today, and actually...
Because there should be, by calendar days, it should be today.
I emailed Andrew Lawson, and Andrew said that they're just going to do it Monday. Oh, yeah, this 1554, great beer.
Stout.
No, I don't know what the hell it is.
Stout.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Dark ale.
Or dark ale. Stout, dark ale, same one.
No, it's not the same thing. It's better.
Stout and dark ale, exactly the same thing. I've got O'Brien, Bell's O'Brien. American wheat ale, and it's pretty damn good, I've got to say. But Comstock, Minnesota. Yeah, it's Minnesota.
The gals at Duval Liquorland, are fine sponsors over there. They said we got to talk about them tonight, and I said, well, I don't know if we should.
What will we say?
I don't know.
The beer you stock is good.
Sure. Thank you. It's good
So
beer.
the girls in there pretty hot.
Oh, yeah.
That's what
Always
I'm saying.
hot.
That's what I'm saying. Beer is cold and the girls are hot.
That's
Perfect
right.
combination.
Since 1969.
And the whiskey's smooth. 69?
69, 50-year-old company.
Damn.
It's their 51st year in business. But, back on the city. Monday, they're going to have their annual, or not annual, but their reorg meeting because Jim's falling off, Seibert's coming on.
Biannual.
Yeah, biannual. And, I guess the reason I want to talk about it, to me, it's a great opportunity for the big reset button, okay? Not only because they got a new commissioner on there, Scotty Rogers, but they're going to get a new city manager here in the next few months. They're getting a new city attorney any day now. They ought to be getting one of them. They ought to be getting the nominations in by now, I would think. I don't know what the due date was, but probably sometime by the end of the month, and they ought to start looking at selecting one. So, from my perspective, it's a great opportunity to reset things, get in the direction of which the city ought to be moving, and these folks got a wonderful chance to really turn things around.
Opportunity.
They really do.
Do they see that it needs to be turned around? Is that a vision of theirs?
Well, it can't
Or
be.
is that just us?
It can't be entirely or conclusively because, more than half of the people that were on are still on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but do they not see the errors in some of their ways? We look at these things as grievous errors that they've made and errors in judgment and lack of judgment. And do they see any of that? Or do they think everything is hunky-dory?
Well, I suspect that, I think Scotty's a dynamic enough commissioner and can be a dynamic enough commissioner where he can maybe turn the table a little bit in terms of thinking critically and not just coinciding with whatever a city manager recommends, which has been the fallacy of not just this commission but prior commissions. Whatever Nick recommended is generally with what the direction they went with, and I can only think of on a very few occasions where the commissioners actually didn't side with Nick's recommendation. It's just always been whatever he says goes.
Yeah.
Is this something new or just an ultra dry
new.
cigar?
We had ultra dry.
It looks ultra
new.
dry.
Yeah, it's been in the humidor for a long time. I got lots of cigars. Strut.
So what do you think? What should be the big topic of discussion? Things that ought to switch around and change out?
Well, what should they switch around versus the direction we're headed versus the direction we should be headed? So we've got eyes on being a metropolis.
When we ought to be focusing on small town values and
Being who we are I agree. Is that does that strike fear into the hearts of the social climbers that we're just regular people in a regular town doing regular people?
And I don't know what kind of applicants they're going to get for the city manager role. I mean, you know, Jeff Longwell's looking for a job. Maybe he'll apply. I don't know. I mean, it would be neat to see a guy like that interview, but as far as actually being possible to employ somebody like that, he's going to have such a, you know, one, who couldn't afford him, and secondly, you know, his pay grade of what he's used to spending, his budget is, you know, 100 times more than Arc City or something outlandish like that. So.
Yeah, but a budget is just a zero at the end of a number. I mean, percentage-wise, importance, and all those things, they're all relatively the same. You know, if you work for a $1 billion company or a $1 million company, you still have the confines of that money.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, but you know, I'm a shallow thinker. I don't have deep thoughts. I just think regular guy stuff.
Regular guy thoughts.
Yeah, sex, guns, and beer. Not necessarily in that order, but pretty close. Beer might be
the top of the list.
Might be.
And if reloading wasn't involved, guns would be a little higher, but it's too much damn work.
Oh my God! Buy the shit. Depending on what you're doing though. But yeah. Back to the city manager position. I'm still concerned they're going to go right back to the status quo. And they're going to get another bureaucrat in there. It's going to be the same damn thing because the bureaucrat mindset just across the board is always the same thing. It's a tax and spend mentality. It's tax money. Just hey, we need something pretty. We need a splash pad.
Yeah, and that is the direction we've been is all these pretty things, right? You know, splash pads and souped up water plants with granite and exotic tile throughout. It just doesn't make sense for a little town. And you know, I think any one of those commissioners, if they focused on any of these three things, they would be perceived by the public as doing the right things. And that's, you know, focus on being a small town. Focus on getting some housing in our community, because right now housing is a crunch, especially if Creekstone brings in 300 more people.
3 to 6.
I mean, we're going to be.
It's already 600 people in there.
It's already tough.
Well, they don't have it already. They're bucking them for the rest. There's nowhere to live. There's no reason to live in Arc City. One thing we can't supply the housing. Number one, they can't look around
right now. So we're going to have to do something. We're going to have to focus on getting some housing, and I know they're doing that little development just to the southwest of Creekstone, and that's fine. But those houses are, you know, the $125,000 to $150,000 range, and that's going to be a little much. I think they're going to need to try to get a little bit low to medium income housing in there.
And national level, that's way on the bottom end.
It is.
But however, we're way on the bottom end. There's no point in thinking beyond our means. Go back to the small town. We're not a metropolis. We're a little bitty.
And I don't know what we're going to have to get. You know, you see in some areas of the country they're working on these container homes and doing some of these things that are a little bit more economical. I don't know if that's a direction. They're going to have to come up with something. These apartment complexes, while those fill a gap, it's not the future.
Well, it depends on the future of what and where of. The situation at Creekstone is more apartment oriented for a time being, and from the apartment, if they transition into a house, which is a normal step.
Yeah, I lived in an apartment. I lived in a couple, 3 of them actually, before we got out.
And as you transition from an apartment, whatever you can afford, and then you can afford a little more. You'll do it as you do a little better.
I got a little better apartment, then a little better apartment, and then a great apartment. Then I got a house.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, Scotty had that idea of doing the downtown housing, and while I agree the downtown needs some serious revitalization or lower their taxes to basically mill nothing, because some of those properties, I mean, it's almost fair to say they're a liability more than they're an asset.
Yeah.
And you know, his idea of putting housing up there, by all means, if that's something we think we can do, but you guys are gonna have to rewrite the damn codes, and you can't adopt these.
Yeah. The practicality of it, a house for a bachelor up there, a cool bachelor bed, that's one thing, but a house for kids and stuff like that, when you have no yard, no parking, you can't own anything but what fits in the house. But if it could be done, it should be done. And I agree 100% with that.
But they're going to have to rewrite the codes and quit adopting these national level city codes that don't apply to downtown Arc City.
No,
They
we've
can
got
apply.
a downtown apartment building at the south end of town. Tim Hayes owned it for a while. It's a 3-story apartment building downtown, which that is already is built that way. It's just it's for whatever reason, whatever code violation, but the codes are not just city codes; are national codes also, as far as the fire protection, as far as ingress and egress for handicap, and,
All
and
those
the amount
things.
of parking that's required when two families have two people have 2 cars, and we're just geared different from that kind of downtown apartment.
But if there's
in
no
this area.
businesses down there, you got street parking. I mean,
Well, if you live downtown, or you work downtown. Like when I was a kid growing up, we didn't have a car. You didn't need a car. You walked or you rode a streetcar. I grew up in downtown St. Louis, and it was not unusual not have a car because you could get there either public transport or Shanks Mares.
I don't think we're there anymore. But,
No, we're not there.
but I guess that's one of 2 or 3 things. Third thing would be, they've got to hire a good city manager and a good city attorney. You need to hire. Keep in mind in your hiring endeavors, you got to hire both of those people need to be for the people, not to build a resume, not to be this grandiose grandstand of a city manager, but hire people that love this town and want to make this town better, and not this resume building mentality.
Well, I don't mind the resume building, but resumes should be based on how much money did you save, how much did you lower the tax base, how much did you really increase the value of the town as far as a good, equitable place to live versus these feather in your cap grandiose projects. So when somebody comes up or somebody calls, hey, how'd your city manager? I said, well, our taxes went up, or property tax went up, or sales tax went up, and per capita income went down, population went down. We have declining population, declining per capita income. We're not keeping up, but yet we've got
The expense to live here is.
oh my God, and we're paying for stuff. We're paying for a junior college. We're paying for a water treatment plant. What was the school bond issue was like $32 million. The
The hospital.
hospital, $26 million hospital. I mean, all these grandiose expenses that they're all tax supported entities. Every one of them is paid up for
We just want
taxpayers.
good water lines.
Yeah, well, we just even adequate water lines would be fine. Good, we're so we trying to make, and of course, one thing we've seen to have lost that the crime of being poor is when you live like you're poor. You can be poor and you don't have to live like it.
Sure.
You can take a little bit of pride in what you do have. I mean, versus the stepping up.
But that's the whole damn country is suffering with that. That isn't. I mean, perhaps we can fix that, and we can.
If we just fix it here, I don't know what the rest of the country's doing. I don't know if we have the capacity to even consider what the rest of the country's doing. We can't take care of our own little retarded problems. Why would we even think about the rest of the country?
It's a good point. But I do want to talk about the rest of the country. I want to talk about Trump's angle.
Oh, Trump's angle.
Yeah, so I feel like if nobody's paid attention in the national news in the last few hours, but yesterday or a couple days ago, Trump, what'd he do? He bombed or did a nice little bomb on an Iranian general that was in Iraq.
Well, it wasn't a bomb, it was a Hellfire missile.
Okay, whatever. Shot this Iranian general that was in Iraq that shouldn't have been there and had allegedly killed some Americans at the embassy.
Not allegedly, proven so.
Okay, at the embassy. So Trump whacks this guy, knowing that the Iranians are going to retaliate.
He whacked him and the other nefarious asshole that was with him.
Yeah.
I mean, he got 2 of them for 1 shot.
Oh yeah, what a bargain.
Money well spent. That's a Trump thing.
That's a Trump thing.
Make it all count.
But no, and from my perspective, I think Trump's angle is he knew he whacks this guy, takes him out. The Iranians are going to retaliate because it's just they have to, right? And they
have to.
They have to retaliate.
Yeah, macho.
And so, from my perspective, he knew that going into this. His angle is now he's got a green light. They attack us. I feel like the war is on, and I know we've been in war for the last nearly 20 years, 18 years, which is another topic, but we can touch on it briefly. But I feel like he's got the green light to just completely smash the enemy and set precedents for a little rocket man over in North Korea. And in this war, just by glassing these folks, and I think that's what's going to happen. There's been some national pundits today saying no, the United States is too restrained, and we're not going to just go glass the Iranians and this and that. And I don't.
Would define what you mean by glassing.
Meaning we're not going to screw around with troops like we've done for the last 20 years. We're going to bomb the shit out of them and get the hell out of Dodge, and that's what needs to happen. We've been over there in the Middle East far too long.
Then what's? I see what you're saying. I really, I get it. I understand exactly what you're saying. But what we did because look, you're going to jack this. This is what you're going to get, and tit for tat kind of thing. Otherwise, you bring a knife, we're bringing a gun, and know that
Prospectively,
so if we have to shoot a couple missiles at them. So this isn't enough. Or evidently they fired a couple missiles at one of our base, so take out another target or two targets. You hit us once, we hit you 2-3 times. But as far as us turning them into glassing them, why would we not just pull out and just, hey, have it your way? We don't need you. We produce our own oil. We don't need your damn oil.
Which we don't.
And if we embargo the shit on you, we're not going to be a market of yours anymore. And hurt them economically to the point where, because they already live in the Stone Age or
Can you really hurt them anymore?
How do you hurt them economically? Because they're already so impoverished.
Take their goats away.
But then you're hurting the people. It's like when you're on the battlefield and two soldiers meet. They're just two guys fighting for somebody else. Neither one of them have a specific, unless say in the case of Vietnam, where we're in Vietnam, and that's their country, just like when the British were in America, and this is our country. You got to be real careful when you step on somebody else's soil. You step into their yard, into their house. If you're an armed intruder, by American law, the Castle Doctrine, you have every right to shoot you and kill you. So all of a sudden,
we will.
And we should. And so they have that same law, too. They have the Castle Doctrine.
You think we ought to just pull out?
Yeah. Absolutely. Let them be at their own devices, and they come crawling back to us for help. So we can't. We tried. We've already tried to help you. We've got bigger fish to fry. We have water mains to repair. We got streets to fix. We've got
people in San Francisco shitting on the street.
Oh dear God. Yeah, and then when we get back to the politics, Virginia's having that Second Amendment war, and I don't know where that's going. That looks like a horrible.
I don't think it's going to go anywhere.
But, it started the same way we started. We elected this anti-gun governor, anti-gun, pro-abortion governor, and everybody, it'll be okay. Well, it won't be okay. It's a bad idea.
Terrible idea.
Anybody thinks abortion's fine, there's something wrong with them. There's really something. There's mentally something wrong with them, and they're being deviants. They want to justify their deviance by making everybody vote for them and cry, it's not fair. Well, you're right, it's not fair that you kill that kid or that you have this insane thought. No, we're so far off topic.
I know. It's good, though.
But it's a thing that has to be breached.
As we
said. Talk about this. Because, it falls right in line with what we're doing, like the splash pad. Come on, man, we've got 1,000 other things to do before we end the splash pad.
We got a damn swimming pool.
We need a swimming pool that we don't want to take care of. And which is another thing that costs them $2 million. Well, the bridge was $4 million, and we fixed it for $23,000. So if the pool is $2 million, we could fix it for $12,000. Would that be right?
Yeah, that's good math.
And I think would be accurate too.
That's probably right. Anything else while we're here? I mean, boy, we've covered a lot. Oh, one other thing I'll touch on. So, yeah. Tyler Juden, kid that was near my class, year or two younger.
Michael wrestled with him or played football or something.
So they're wanting to name, there's a bill being produced by
Allie.
Riley.
Riley's in, yeah.
And anyhow, they're producing a bill and they're wanting to dedicate and name this bridge after Tyler Juden. And
which bridge?
I think it's a new bridge going over.
Well, I thought that already had a name.
I I didn't read the article. I just seen the headline on FaceSpace. I haven't got to it yet, but
I thought that bridge was already dedicated to some innocent kid that got killed in some worthless bullshit war.
that's where I'm at. And he died when he was 23. That's well over a decade ago.
He died 23 years ago?
No, he died when he was
When
23.
he was 23.
And he's my age
So
at
what,
least.
6 years ago? 5 years ago? 5, 6 years ago?
No, it was at least 10 years ago.
Was it that long ago?
Yeah.
Oh.
So we're fighting the same damn war we were then as we are now.
But we're further along, right?
Of course.
We've almost got it won.
It's about
Shit, we're worse.
It's about like fixing streets in Arc City. Fighting.
Well, it's the concept of throwing money at it really is not the salvation of anything. And the bureaucrat point of view is just throw money at it. It's tax money. How much does it cost? Who cares? It's tax money. So we're looking at $1 billion a day to fight an unwinnable war. When I say unwinnable, it is unwinnable until you change their hearts and minds, which you're not going to do.
Till you make them Christians.
Yeah, that's
Basically.
good. That's a good point. Make them Christians. That's a very good point. Everybody bitches about the Christianity, the sky wizard, all this stuff. Christianity is the easiest religion to defend because no matter what you say about God, you can't prove there's not one. You can't prove there's no God. I mean, science is
I
something new
literally,
every day.
I don't have a deep religious faith, and I'd like to have a show one day. I'm sure we get plenty of preachers come on and discuss these things with us. But you can look at things as simple as a sunflower or a dandelion or an ant, and there's a God.
I don't want preachers. I want atheists.
Okay.
I want atheists to come on and explain to me because I don't get it. I'm not seeing it. But I don't see lots of things. I don't see why we changed the pit bull law. I don't see why our trash cans are on the front instead of the back of the house. I don't see all kinds of things because I'm just not smart enough to get it.
I've been thinking about getting a pit bull.
Well, now it's time to do it because the law is the way. If I had my ways, you wouldn't have a pit bull. It's not because of the dog, it's because of the owners. I can't control the owner, but I can control what you own. No pit bulls. No unlicensed cars in your front yard. Just things like that we can control. Because it ain't about you, it's about your neighbor. And so the concept of you have a pit bull, that's great for you, but what if it bites, what if it kills my little chihuahua? What if your pit bull kills my chihuahua?
It was a good meal.
It would be a snack. That little snack to your ferocious. And they start with the chihuahuas and they work their way up. The next thing you know, it's a
5-year-old.
Yeah, it has happened many times.
It's quite disgusting.
And I don't know if that's off topic, on topic, and there's always 2 points of view.
Because when you were a commissioner, you outlawed them, right?
Outlawed those, Presa Canarias, any intentionally, viciously trained or raised dogs. And not that all pit bulls are bad, but if they're raised to be bad, they can be real bad.
Yeah, they're pretty intense.
Pretty intense, and then the damage they can do, and they don't have that backup mentality. And when you got to beat them or shoot them to get them off. And in fact, the incident just happened where a lady called in, 2 pit bulls were chasing some guy, and he jumped a fence, and she calls the cop 15 minutes later. Dogs are still rolling around, no cop, calls the cops again, where you guys at? And, well, they'll be here in a minute, 10, 15 minutes, they show up again. The cop says, what do you want me to do? And she said, nothing, I'll get a gun and I'll shoot him. Oh, you can't do that. And all of a sudden they wanted to do something about it. Well, the logic is, call 911, say, you better get an ambulance over here. What happened? I'm about to kill this guy. Well, they'll get there. But if you say, hey, send a cop this way, I'm being burglarized, they're just going to sit around.
Oh, come on. That shit doesn't
Documented.
happen.
Okay. You know what else doesn't happen?
You got to tell them your house is on fire. Duh.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey,
Fire.
anything else?
Infrastructure,
Wage
disparity in infrastructure.
We're going to get there.
We need to, because if we're going to set a new direction, if we want to have parity, if we want to keep good people, we got to pay them some damn money. This mentality in bureaucratic situations, always the same. It's the oligarchs. It's the people on top make all the money. Everybody underneath starve to death. It's typical of any socialistic, which governments are all socialist. And so we can break that. You got anything to say?
No,
Dear God.
I'm good.
All right.
Mell More signing off.
Have a nice day.